Brooks Dampeer, I'm the head football coach at Amory High School. Just finished my 14th year as a football coach, 6th season as a head football coach. I've had 2 other head jobs, both in Alabama. I come from a coaching family. My dad, Charlie Dampeer, was a longtime coach in North Mississippi. We grew up in sports, and whatever season it was growing up, that was our favorite sport. We just like to compete. So I want to learn about football, at a young age. So being in elementary, I wanted to be in the huddle and hearing the plays called and hearing rules and all those kind of things. So I've been around athletics most of my life. I've been on the field as a manager, getting kicked out of huddle since I was about 3rd grade. So that's what set a foundation for me as a coach.
Hey Ben, you've got to change up. You snap it every time he says set. Change it up. They'll jump off sides this time, I promise you.
The first of the season last year was a little bit bumpy. We were trying to figure out who we were and what our kids did well. As we didn't play a spring game two springs ago, so we had some work to do in the summer. We had to figure out who was the quarterback. There were some solid pieces of the puzzle that graduated. Once we got going into division play, some special things happened in Hattiesburg against Jeff Davis County quality football team. So really good year 1. I played quarterback in high school. Went to graduated from Mendenhall High School. Played at MaxxSouth a little bit as well. I played at Northeast Community College, and then went on to be a student assistant at University of North Alabama, which I ended up playing a little bit of quarterback there. So quarterback play is kind of what I studied and did as being a younger kid. To me, everything I do goes through the mind of the quarterback.
Scoot up, scoot up, scoot up. Scoot up a little bit, James. Down. Go. Stay in your A gap. Good.
I spoke at the Mississippi High School clinic, All-Star Clinic this summer on how to manipulating defenses, and I use an acronym called NAAFDTD, and that talks about that's our play criteria, and the N stands for numbers. We're trying to figure out, are there numbers on the strong side or the weak side? Are there numbers, and I mean players, are a lot of players in the box or near the line of scrimmage, or there's more players in the secondary? The first A is called angles. We're trying to find out who's giving us the best angles depending on who's lined up where. The next A is talk about athletes. So we're trying to find numbers, we're trying to find angles, we're trying to find athletes, and then ultimately trying to get a first down, then a touchdown. So that's what that acronym stands for, and that's pretty much everything we do in our play calling criteria.
Ready? Hit it hard, Galen. Left arm up. Down. Say go. Hit it. Good, Galen. Don't stand up, though. Push and pitch.
It's a game of inches. It's chess. It's moving parts that who's going to have the pin last, so to speak, and you got to execute on the move. And I'm all about taking what the defense gives us offensively. So, 1 week we may throw it more than 50% of the time, then the next week we may run it more than 50% of the time. So it's all about what a defense is trying to force you to do. We try not to be hard-headed and run things into bad looks, so to speak. In the same way defensively, we're trying to take away what you do well by alignment and say maybe your top 2 or 3 plays. My style of coaching, really try to be a teacher of the game. We spend a lot of time in film. We film every practice. We label every play in practice. We help the players understand why we're doing what we're doing and why we're attacking a certain look like we are, or why we're aligning on defense a certain way. Hopefully most of our kids understand why. Not every player is going to probably go into that depth of wanting to know why, but we have some kids that do a good job. And one thing I'll say about Amory, since I've been here, the players have allowed us to coach them. I think our style is doing a really good job of in-game adjustments. Just because you may go into a game and you think a team's going to give you one thing and they don't, you got to get to the sideline and you're watching video on the sideline and just trying to make in-game adjustments best we can.
It's a new day at MaxxSouth. We're excited to share some great news. In our continued effort to support Mississippi businesses, MaxxSouth is now offering local advertising support. Through high-quality programming, we combine traditional television and premium digital advertising, allowing your multimedia campaign to reach your targeted audience at any time on any device. Call MaxxSouth Media Sales today at 662-701-8628.
Whenever we do this and throw pepper, and this number 3 is ineligible.
Last year our motto was like move the bar. We're trying to raise the standard. There's been some great championship teams in the late 90s here, and we really wanted to get back to that. And that really didn't mean go win the state championship or play for it. It meant just be the best we could be each week. And one thing that we know that we can do each and every week is just get better that day, that rep, that workout. Because if you look ahead, you can get distracted. This year's motto is focus. Trying to be better at doing our jobs, executing. Focus on the lift. Focus on the guy beside me playing better. We just continue to grow, get a little better, and I think as a coach, that's one thing we can control is how much you improve week in, week out. And I'll tell you, last year being 2-3, I mean, the team could have gone off the end and not handled adversity, but we want to be our best in those adverse times. So, that's kind of how we work and how we control each day.
Get rid of it. Good. Good hunt. Good hunt.
Yeah. How do we motivate kids? Every kid's a little bit different. I wouldn't call myself a big rah-rah guy. There's nothing wrong with that. But the greatest speeches before the game, that's probably a little late to me. The hay is in the barn, so to speak. Some you motivate them by playing time. Some you're motivating to get on the field. Some are motivated because they just want to be a part of the team.
Good, that's all it is. Okay, good, good.
Every kid's a little bit different. I don't think we have a standard cookie cutter way of motivating kids. And I'm surrounded by a good group of coaches. I mean, I have some coaches that really have a talent in kids getting kids to play hard, and I think that's special. The thing that I think that I bring to the table, and obviously I have to be a leader and handle a lot of things, but I believe our kids trust in myself and our staff that we're going to put them in a good spot schematically week in, week out to give them a great chance, and I trust them that they are going to allow us to coach them. So, but rivals sometimes keeps the motivation going. Trying to beat a team you didn't didn't beat the year before is some motivation. So that's kind of my thought process on motivation.
I just can't never go past the line of scrimmage. You're the one, bam, and go. Randy, are you good on that?
As a player, I played all sports. I think it's healthy for kids to be multi-sport. There's multiple reasons I say that too. One, it's okay to get away from one coach and go be coached by another coach. It's good to get around other people, and it's good to be coached by different styles. When as you grow older, you're gonna have different bosses during life, and one boss is gonna be really straightforward, and the next boss is gonna expect you to kind of figure things out. And I think playing multiple sports, a kid kind of gets a little more open-minded to seeing more than one types of leadership and expectations. But there's a lot of excitement for this next year after playing for state championship the previous year. So we were really looking forward to getting really through the off season into the next year.
Horse 6-1, wrapping in place that inside. Okay, scoot in, jab steps, and getting counter to your left. Counter, down.
I guess the biggest struggle, maybe challenge this year is having, when you have so many returners. I mean, we have returning D linemen, offensive linemen. Every skill guy on offense is returning. So they all skill guys started last year. So, and then 2 of the 3 offensive linemen, left tackle and the right guard, were returning starters. Most of our linebackers are back. Most of our secondary is back. Kicker and punter is back. So trying to keep a group of returners humble, even keel, focused, locked in, not looking ahead, taking every day, not taking a day for granted, but and your opponents, So this is our second year of the same schedule, so they're a little more familiar with opponents. You have goals that you have to focus on daily, per game week, and then goals to win a division, goals to go play for another state championship. But those goals don't matter day in, day out. So getting a veteran group to understand that can be challenging. When I got the job, the question I asked a lot, who's the next quarterback? Nobody knew. The previous staff didn't know. Administration didn't know. The players didn't know. The community didn't know. Jatarian Ware, who's the quarterback, he was a linebacker before I got here. He's way too soft to play linebacker, I'm telling you. He's more like a quarterback now.
Check the film.
Huh?
Check the film.
Check the film? He did run over a safety the other night. He kept running, huh?
The same number I had on.
Same number.
I was 3.
Yeah, oh yeah, he hit on 3 too.
Nobody had an answer who's the next quarterback. And we took this young man who's very humble and mild-mannered, and just started developing. Took his arm action was a little bit down 3/4, and we started trying to move it up and help him become a passer and not a thrower. But he's been a blessing, and I think one thing, me personally as a coach, I don't look like a quarterback anymore. but I do think that I have a knack in developing quarterbacks, and everywhere I've been able to take that kid and just help him have a more successful year. I think Amory has a swag about us. You know, I think there's a thought of when we get off the bus, we think we have a chance to win. And some may say we know we're going to win, you know. So I can remember I played against Amory, and my dad coached against Amory many years ago, and that was kind of the thought that, man, they have this swag about them, that they competed at a high level. And our kids are highly competitive in whatever they're doing. They would like to play one-on-ones and go team every day in practice to compete. So that's that. You know, some other programs I've been at, there's some of that, but it's a different level of competition here, I think.
You just went that way, right? Horse 6-1 for y'all, horse 6-2 for there. Ready, down, so go. Jab step, let's go, good. All right, let's go one at a time now, one at a time.
Rivals. You know, Aberdeen is the kind of the older rival. We still have a lot of kids that know each other there. I think Nettleton is kind of a little bit more of a newer rival. You'd have to say Itawamba is part of a rival. We hadn't really been on the right side of that rival in a while, but you know, I think there's rivals among players, older alumni, rivals among coaches. So you know, but my brother is Game 5, so maybe that's a rival between he and I. But there's a lot of good games on our schedule. The Knoxville game this year will be a, you know, we beat them for the first time in a long time last year, so that will, I'm sure that game's circled on, you know, their schedule, and obviously we know we're excited about it too when it gets here.
Ready? 18-1, down, so go. Look, push and pitch, good. Ball. All right, Galen, ready? Down, so go. Look, push and pitch. All right, 18-2. We're in king. Ball.
Being our best is not necessarily a state championship. It's not necessarily winning so many games, but we got to be our best. And I think that's what happened last year. We just tried to be our best, and when we were getting the most of our kids, some good things happened. I'd love to win the state championship. You know, to get back there would be really, really hard. There was a 19-year window between playing for it last year and the time before. So you come off the field, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you'll be right back," and I'm thinking, boy, I hope so, but it's tough to get there. You know, what I can control is being 1-0 every week, being the best practice on Tuesday or Monday. That's what I can control in my goals, and hopefully if we do those well, we'll have a chance to win it all, but you never know.
They're coming back. There you man, stay there you man. All right, get up here. All right, let's go rocket. Scoot in a little bit so you can get.
Yeah, what makes a good high school football coach? Players is the first thing. Patience. My motto when I came in after a job, and I may not mention this earlier, but I kind of do 3 P's. It's a people business. You got to have a plan, and it's a process. And one thing that I try to do, I probably don't do it in practice very well, but in the game, you know, a couple weeks ago we look up and we're down 21, and there's some disappointed people and disappointed players, and I hope I never show that I was mad or disappointed, and we look up and we're down by 7. So being resilient, handling adversity, you got to handle adversity well. So you got to be able to handle parents some, you know, but that's all part of it. But you know, a thing that I do more than maybe a lot of people, I don't know, I spend a lot of time, like, you know, people tell me, hey, maybe you don't have to spend that much time preparing. I enjoy the process. I mean, I enjoy figuring it out on defense as much as I do. I call the offense, the defense coordinator, Coach Hill calls the defense. I probably spend more time prepping on defense than I do offense, you know, because to know one side of the ball, you got to understand the other. So that's kind of my philosophy, and I think those are the things that make, you know, high school coaches successful. But I think over all those things, players is the first thing.
Drop left. 1, 2, 3, let it go, let it go, let it go. Come on, Bubba. Come on, Bubba, come on, Bubba.
Game day. There's a lot of excited people in Amory in our school during game day. It's a stressful day as the coach. You get a lot of questions that you could probably answer Monday through Thursday, but people don't ask you till Friday, which is okay. I always say you could write a book about what happens on Friday. Again, we've had great crowds, great excitement from our cheer, our dance, our band. Pep rally's been good, so it's an exciting day. I mean, there's nothing bigger in the community of Amory than a high school football game. It's the largest gathering place we have in our community, and it's like that a lot of places. So, you know, I'm excited on those days to see our guys perform, and it was really nice this past week. They performed very well against a team that's very disciplined, flex bone, very option, midline things, and our guys played so disciplined. You know, trying to keep the kids mentally focused and down to earth when all those fun things are happening on game day is a challenge. So, you know, that's another story in itself. So, game days are special. There's nothing like Friday night football game in my eyes, and obviously experiencing victory on Friday night.